Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to duplicate the Notebook LM functionality. So if you don't know, the Notebook LM is basically allow you to upload a document, and then it will basically allow you to ask a question of out of that file. So basically it will create an expert of that document. So let me show you how this notebook functionality works. So first, if you create first you have to create the notebook, and once you're inside that, it will ask you to upload your file. For example, I'm going to upload the file from my local machine. Okay, so it will read that file content and it store into its memory, and now it will basically create an agent expert on that file. Now you can ask any question based on that file, and it will answer from that context only. Okay, so let's for example, this is my file, so let's ask. So based on the file, it will ask the answer. This is the lunar station, and this will also give the specification, or like the sources, how it get this answer, from where it get the answer. Okay, and the similar functionality in today's video, we're gonna create our own using simple Python code, and I will show you my app here already built. So this is the mini version of that notebook LM, where you can upload a document. So I uploaded the same document, and then after you upload the document, you can ask the question. Hope you like this video. Let's get started. In order to write this functionality, I am using ChromaDB to store the uploaded file content into the vector database. Because this video get too long, I have split into the two part. In the first part, we will write the database logic to upload the file content into the ChromaDB, and in the second part, we will write the retrieval process to retrieve the data from the ChromaDB based on the question to provide the satisfied answer. So without wasting time, let's get into the first part of this video. So before we get into the actual code, we need to understand some basic concept about this RAG system and storing the content into the vector database. So basically what you do, you will read the file, and the next thing, you need to create the chunks. Basically what it does, it convert all the text into the array of small subset based on your the size that you have given, the chunk size. And you, for example, you say this text, it's basically converted into 3 chunks, and the size is approximately, I would say, 4 words. Okay, so it's not about words, it's character, but for simplicity, let's for example 4 words. Okay, so it's created the 3 chunks out of that because of the text, and if the text is long enough, it will create multiple chunks. And you see here the highlighted part, this is the kind of overlap. So every chunk basically store some information from the previous chunk as well, so that like information or data is not being lost, or maybe the context is not lost. So here I'm just considering 1 word, but it might in the longer document, because in the RAG system we generally have the long PDF or long text, so it will may store a full sentence or repeated sentence into the another chunk part. So that's why we need overlapping as well, so that whole context is there. Okay, and once you have the chunks, the next part is to create embedding. Based on these chunks, what it will do, it will create the numbers, like array, or you can say vectors, multi-dimension arrays, create the embedding, and those embedding basically get stored into our ChromaDB. So that's how the our file converted to chunks, get an embedding, and then saved into a vector database. Hope that clarify the vector database concept. In this part of the session, I have created this project, and I installed these libraries: Gradio, ChromaDB, PDF Plumber. Transformers we need later, but I installed it already here. After installing these libraries, you need to import here on these 4 libraries to start with. And overall, we are writing the 3 part of this application. In the first part, I will write the upload method, where it will extract the upload file, text from the upload file, create the chunks, and store into the vector database. And in the later part of the video, we will create the ask question answer like functionality for that file. Based on that file, user can ask questions. And let's start with the building the UI first. Okay, so UI is pretty straightforward. We have this title, two column, one for uploading the file and another for column for the asking the question. Although we are writing this functionality later, but I adding the UI here only. And right now we're adding the functionality for this button upload file. Okay, so now yeah, this will render the button upload file, and we are passing this input file to this method. So now let's write this. Upload method is also simple. This we will get the file path here, and we're just checking the file path is okay, file exists on that path, and we are creating the temp directory and copying that file over there. And once we have write that file, the next we need to extract the text, read the text from that file, create the chunks out of those texts, because we cannot store the text as it is. We need to convert into the chunks, like small chunks of the text of that file. And then once chunks are ready, then we're gonna create embedding and store into our vector database. So let's write the reader first. In the reader, basically we need two methods. First is to read the text of that file, and this method is we are getting the path of that file, and we just checking that if it is PDF. Right now we're only supporting PDF, so using this PDF plumber, we are opening this file and reading all the pages, combine all the text into one whole string, and just returning the text. Okay, and then the chunk, we are getting the text out of this method, and then we're just making the subset of that text into like chunks of 500, and the overlap size is 50. And once you have these, so our two part are ready. So we need to import here these two methods. So we say from rag dot reader, we're gonna import these chunk text and read text. Okay, so our two parts are done. So I will say extract not text chunks. Okay, now we're gonna store into our vector database. So now let's write our this vector store. So this start with the this library. We need a ChromaDB to import here, already installed, and a sentence transformer to create the embedding. In this constructor of this class, we are creating the client, and this is where we need to provide the path where the database will be created. And the embedding model, we need to pass this transformer as a model. I'm using this model to create the embedding. There are multiple models available, but I'm using here now. And the reset collection is basically just deleting. If the store has already the collection, it will just deleting that file. And this method, you can see if it exists, just delete that collection docs. Okay, now the main part here, the build. In the build part, again we are clearing the collection if it's already exists, and we are creating based on this embedder embedder object we created using this transformer. We are passing the chunks that we created, and we are creating the embedding. So once you have the embedding, then you're going to store those embedding into this our store. So this is the way you write the self.collection.add. Okay, so we're going to pass the embedding and chunks and id. This is the way to store the data, like your chunks into the vector database. So search functionality we'll discuss later. So once our this rag is ready, let's go back to our main.py and import here. Okay, so our rag object is here, and we are just using the method rag.build, and we are passing the chunk. So these are three steps are completed, and your database is there into the ready to use. Okay, now let's try to run this part. So our application is ready on this URL. Let's try this. So this is our UI we have created, and this is the interface, column 1 and column 2 for asking question. Let's try to upload the file and store into our database. So I already have this file. On click on this document will upload the file. So it's just reading the text, creating the chunks, and storing into the creating the embedding and storing into the vector database. So yeah, 4 chunks created, and now you can ask question. Let me show you the database. So because in the vector store we given this path Chroma store, and it will basically create the file into your local system itself. So this is the file that we have loaded here. So hope you grab this piece of code. So yeah, that's it for today. In the next part of the video, I will write the functionality of this asking questions and replying answer based on this. All right, thank you very much for joining. Hope you will like this video. Please subscribe for more such content. Thank you.